Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Let me welcome you to this ancient and beautiful church where we today are gathered as family, friends of Agnes. Her death has joined us together in sadness, but we know it is you, Agnes's family, who feel that loss most deeply. It is fit to meet here in this church because this was the church Agnes was baptized in, grew up in, and was involved in her early years. It's also fit to honour her life here in Scotland, where many of her relatives and friends live. Our gathering is one of thanksgiving and tribute to Agnes's life. In the different ways your lives and paths have crossed. And here, as one together, we witness the part Agnes has played in your lives. Since Agnes's death, I'm sure there have been times already when you have shared your thoughts, memories and tears with one another. But today we come together to celebrate the gift of Agnes's life and all that remains because of her. So this is a time of sadness, for we still mourn. But this is also a time of giving thanks, for Agnes's life had great meaning for each of you. This is a time to remember that the love of God is as real for Agnes as it always was, in life and in death, and in life beyond death. And that the same love is present now, surrounding each one of us. So let us now come to this God of love in prayer. Let us pray. God, we come to you. We come with faith and doubt, with hope and hurt, and hearts still to be healed, but we come. Though you are here with us, it is Agnes that has brought us together. Her life, her loss, her memory. God of the new and the old, faithful to countless generations, who have watched the sun set and rise again day by day. We come grateful for the gift of this day and this opportunity to give thanks before you for Agnes. Compassionate God, who stands with those who rejoice and those who mourn, we trust that you stand with us all in the heights and depths of life, and that there is no part of life's journey where you leave or forsake us. For Agnes and for the way her life touched and enriched ours, we bring our thanks today. Make our memories of Agnes as fresh today as they were on the day of darkest loss, and inspiring us again the zest of life and its opportunities that Agnes grasped. Let your peace flow through us now as we remember Agnes's life in fullness. Amen. I'd like now to invite Greg, who is going to read a poem, Instructions.
Instructions. When I have moved beyond you in the adventure of life, gather in some pleasant place, and there remember me. With spoken words, old and new, let a tear if you will, but let a smile come quickly. For I have loved the laughter of life. Do not linger too long with your sorrows. Go, eat and talk, and when you can, follow a woodland trail, climb a high mountain, walk along the wild seashore. Chew the thoughts of some book which challenges your soul. Use your hands some bright day to make a thing of beauty, or to lift someone's heavy load. Though you mention not my name, though no thought of me crosses your mind, I shall be with you. For these have been the realities of my life for me. And when you face some crisis with anguish, when you walk alone with courage, when you choose your path of right, I shall be very close to you. I have followed the valleys. I have climbed the heights of life.
I will read now Psalm 23, a good psalm, and I heard that was a psalm loved also by Agnes. The psalmist says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long." Amen. Obviously, I didn't have the privilege to know Agnes, but she was a wonderful lady from what I heard from her family and her sister Edith. In what follows, I will read a tribute that actually was written by Edith, a small tribute that tells general history of Agnes's life. Later on, Edith will do a more personal tribute. Agnes was born in Bangor Hospital on Wednesday the 4th of November 1953, the second of twins with sister Edith. Her mum didn't know she was actually going to have twins until she was 6 months pregnant. When Agnes arrived, she was a blue baby, a fact not missed on their Rangers supporting dad. The twins were baptized in this church on the 20th December 1953, with older sister Helen sitting proudly beside them. I think the church had pews at that time. Agnes's childhood involved spending a lot of time with her grandparents. Summers in Livingston and Seafield were filled with adventures. Easters were spent out at Coldingham, and this became a very special place for the twins. Family holidays saw them setting off in the Midland bus, which unfortunately broke down during one of the holiday trips. Other holidays included going in a caravan to St Andrews, North Berwick, and staying in a boarding house in Northern Ireland. Family was such an important part of Agnes's life, and she often thanked them all for enriching her life. At school, Seafield Infants, Red House Primary, Lindsay High School, and Whitburn Academy, Agnes always excelled. She was bright, articulate, sporty, and musical, quite the opposite to her other twin, I hear, but they complemented each other very well. This led to Agnes being an integral part of the school's netball team and choir. Singing was a family affair, and Agnes often played the piano while the other members of the family sang. Agnes went on to play the church organ here at Kirk of Livingston, where she played at her first nephew, Alan's christening. Agnes spent many hours watching all types of sporting events, but tennis was a particular favourite. She counted the years not in seasons, but in grand slams. Agnes studied at Edinburgh College of Commerce, where she was the most outstanding student of her year. She then began her lecturing career at Bathgate, Falkirk, Carlisle, and finally at Glenrothes Technical College. When she emigrated to New Zealand, she continued teaching. This time it was home economics, and again she did this with commitment and enthusiasm. Agnes married and had her daughter Lindsay in September 1978, and later her adopted grandson Ryan, who will be 21 on Tuesday. She then met and married Bob Scott, an amazing husband to her, and they emigrated to New Zealand. It was there that they brought up Ryan as their own son. Agnes and Bob loved to travel, having many holidays on the islands surrounding New Zealand, as well as beautiful New Zealand itself. One of Agnes's favourite places was Melbourne. It was there that Agnes, her mum and Helen met up with her uncle Bill, who left Scotland during the war and never returned back. That was a much treasured visit. Agnes travelled back to Scotland on many occasions. She enjoyed meeting up with the family and hearing their news. She also very much enjoyed visiting Helen, Jim and family in Calgary. Agnes had 2 difficult periods of ill health, the second of which was cancer of the lungs. This was diagnosed 2 years ago, and Agnes was told that with treatment she would have months and without weeks. She underwent the treatment stoically and was an excellent responder to it. This meant that Agnes lived longer than her prognosis, a huge benefit, as it allowed both Helen and Edith to visit her and have the opportunity to reminisce and to talk about the future. Agnes filled her time with knitting, from Edith's music man and grandma and papa, some of the knittings are there, to the children's various toys. Her last knitting gift was for the younger children. They each were knitted a kiwi jumper, a stitch, knitted with love. As Fraser always said, if it was a kiwi on it, then it came from Auntie Agnes. From a young age, Agnes had her head in a book, or completing her crosswords. Occasionally Bob was allowed to assist, but only occasionally. She very much enjoyed the phone calls shared with her sisters and other family and friends. Agnes and Edith were able to talk right up until the night before she died, when she was so excited about selling her house and making sure that her new address was written in the address book. She fulfilled her promise to herself of putting her house in order. And then she peacefully left this world. How fitting that we are here today at the Kirk of Livingston to celebrate Agnes's life. The Kirk, as I already mentioned, she was baptized in, and where many of her family members were part of, where there are so many memories. May she rest in peace. Now, Edith is going to share some of the memories that they have together.
Before my memories, Bob, Helen and Agnes's New Zealand sister Lee shared theirs at the New Zealand service 2 weeks ago. Helen spoke of some of the fun we three had as children. She has asked me to share one of her special memories with you. Agnes, Bob, Ryan and his friend Mitchell visited Canada for Christmas a few short years ago. New Zealand winter, 17 degrees Celsius. Calgary winter, minus 35 degrees Celsius. Auckland to Vancouver is a 14-hour flying time, then 2 hours to Calgary. Bob, Ryan and Mitchell arrived in shorts and jangles. Don't know what jangles are. Agnes just wanted to have a smoke. Our son Colin was dispatched to take care of his godmother. Anti-duty required they find the smoking zone 100 metres from the terminal building and minus 35 degrees. Agnes lit up her cigarette as her nostril hairs froze, her eyelashes froze to her glasses, and her glasses totally froze up. 4 puffs later, and she was back to the baggage claim. She spent her 2-week holiday in a down-filled parka, taking 4 puffs in her cigarette with Colin, Lynn and Karen on frostbite watch. Auntie Agnes, you are loved by all. Well, Mole Ewan, there is no traditional Scottish Gaelic word for twin. It is simply half of one. A lifetime shared and a lifetime of memories. So many that I had to take time to choose the ones I'll share with you today. As our parents both worked, we spent a great deal of time being looked after during the summer holidays. From making tents using the washing line, old sheets and bricks in the summertime with Livingston and Elizabeth Law, to using lavender wax in the linoleum and beating carpets at 105 the Rose. It was during a stay with Auntie Edith and Uncle Robin that we were introduced to that wonderful Pear's soap, and it was where Agnes fell and broke her front teeth. When we stayed with Granny and Granda Galloway, we were introduced to tennis and ice skating. We learned to play cards, and Agnes learned to play the piano. Auntie Agnes and Auntie Jean were a huge influence in our young lives. And when Auntie Agnes married Uncle Alec, off we went again to Haddington, our Beatles badges days, Trinent and Longnidry. When we stayed with Granny and Granda Elliot, we learned what a busy household it was and how lucky we were to be part of this great big family. We went with Dad and his lorry to pick up Granda from his work, watched the comings and goings of the uncles, very quiet Uncles Bobby and George, handsome Uncle John, Dave and Tommy, Auntie Catherine and her 20 Benson and Hedges and Lucasade on the Friday of pay week. Sadie, the pride felt by the family when she graduated, and we knew we wanted to be just like her. Sadie also had the task of making sure that we passed our higher secretarial studies. And Grace, whom we loved to run up to Cowsland Terrace to visit. Not in the house at that time was Auntie Annie, though we did pop in to visit her at lunchtime from the Lindsay High. Auntie Mary, the lady who let us watch Top of the Pops and dance in her living room because her dad wouldn't. Agnes went to work with Auntie Mary at McNabb the Cleaners too. Auntie Edith and Uncle Bill in Australia. Our thanks to all our aunties and our uncles for being there for each of us. Family holidays were great fun, and this led to the two of us branching out on our own. We decided to celebrate the end of our higher exams by going to Copenhagen Youth Hostel, and we ended up being employed to make the beds at St. Vitus guest house, and we got paid on the side. After 6 years, we took off hitchhiking our way to Skye. We were pretty rubbish at the hitchhiking bit and ended up using the train. Not put off, at the end of our first year at college, we headed to Torquay via London. How modern and cool we felt. We returned to Coldingham years later with our children and ended up in a caravan that had fly infestation. Boy, did we laugh after we got rid of them. Agnes loved to hear about our grandchildren. Notice I said our, we even shared them. Tales of Jessica swimming beautifully, Fraser joining the beavers, Lucas, our maths genius, and whom Auntie Agnes would hope would be the next Andy Murray, Jacob, and Jacob's need for his knitted character that's on the table, and other character roles he loves. Alfie, and his love of the characters from Cars, knowing every single one of them by name and expecting us to as well. Gracie, and her love of dancing. Jamie, do you know, she even corrected me because I did just that, called him Jamie. Excuse me, she said, his name is Jamie Alexander, and his beautiful smile. Betsy and Poppy, as they grew and developed, she also knew about her number 10, who's due at the end of October. Our parents taught us to value life and make sure to get an education. Dad always said that education is the key. How right he was. Both Mum and Dad ensured that we were given the right to our education. They both inspired us in so many different ways. We sang in the school choir and with Whitburn Operatic Society. Whenever we got together, we would sing the old school songs, hymns and Scottish folk songs, Agnes the soprano, and me the alto. At Seafield Gallaudet, we always won the three-legged race. Hardly surprising, really, as Agnes was right-handed and right-footed, and me the lefty. We ran as one. We rarely called each other by our Christian names. Our cards, texts, emails and phone calls started with "Hi twin" and ended with "Love you." Sadie and I promised that we would do you proud, Agnes. I hope we have. Let's sing together one last time. That's born of beauty free. It was by dimpling rosy cheeks that's been the jewel o' me. Sorry, I had to do this stand part there. Thank you.
Did very well, and it was actually fitting that you still sing the song on your own, now covering both voices. This is not a time to say those things that people often say. That time is a great healer. That tomorrow is another day, that things will get better. No, this is a time to acknowledge that in Agnes's death, you have lost someone who was such a significant part of your lives. That platitudes don't take away anything of that loss. It is a real loss for you. And we must be allowed to feel its depth and pain. But it's also time to remember that although Agnes is gone, she is in no way forgotten, and so it would be wrong of us to stop talking about her as if she was a shadow in the past, as if she was not someone who was able to bring the best out of you all, and as someone you loved, admired, respected in all the best of ways. It is one of life's greatest tributes to be remembered well, to be talked about, to be loved just as much in death as in life. We might at some point ask ourselves how we might want to be remembered. Few would want to be forgotten, for we each have made an impact on others in great and small ways. And that keeps memory fresh, alive, and vibrant, for all life has meaning. It is perhaps when death is an unwelcome reality that we consider once again the breadth and depth of the gift of life. This is when we remember the value of each day and of each encounter, each relationship and friendship formed and grown. God did not create us to live in isolation, but to be relational people, to relate to God and to one another in the unfolding of our days. And it is because of that great truth that we feel the depth of this loss today, because the life of another has been so much part of ours. In faith, Jesus Christ came to bring life, life in all its fullness. And today we recognize that Agnes was a gift of God to us, and that your lives were fuller because of her. So we thank God for the time she gave you, for what she inspired in you, and the love she shared with you. And we recognize the space she has left within you because of all of that. Another gift of God is peace. A peace that passes all understanding. A peace that assures us that Agnes is not just part of this family, but God's family, and rests secure in God's safe keeping. So let that peace of God fill you, and let your memories of Agnes bring comfort today and tomorrow. For Agnes's life is one we are glad to give thanks for today. So let us do so as we come to God in prayers of thanksgiving. God of life, for the wonderful wonder of life we bless you. For the touch of love and friendship we thank you. For the way that good things fill our lives and give us enjoyment, we thank you. We give thanks to you, O God, that you have created us with hearts to fill and hands to touch. And we come thankful for the kindness we have known at the touch of Agnes's hand, for her caring words and actions, and for the place held in our hearts today. We bless you, God, for the changing beauty seen in creation, and we thank you that in the different seasons of our own lives you have been a constant and unchanging presence, recognized and unrecognized, and that Agnes's life, part of your creation, brought color to our own lives. Caring God, knowing the loss that is keenly felt and the days of sorrow that lie ahead, we pray for Agnes's family, that they continue to know your strength and our support. May tears give way to smiles, not because Agnes's loss is felt any less, but because we remember, we give thanks and rejoice together that we were privileged to know her. We offer this prayer along with all the unspoken prayers of our hearts and minds, in the name of the one who brought light out of darkness, and in whose words that he taught his disciples to pray. We join now together, praying. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. We now will be singing together. I think Agnes will join us as well in this song. She is present in spirit, I'm sure, around us. Sing this beautiful old hymn, By Who Siloam's Shade.
gone. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on.
Yes. Hopefully you will be able to do that, to love and go on. May I thank you all on behalf of Edith and the rest of the family for joining us here today for this service of remembrance on Thanksgiving as well. You are all invited by the family at Hillcroft Hotel after the service here, where you continue to share your memories, but also continue to support Edith as well together. There is a memory book here. I think most of you were able to fill in, but those of you who have not able to fill in, please do so here or at the hotel at Hillcroft, because that book came from New Zealand and goes back to New Zealand. So please do sign the memory book before you go. So we conclude the service with a prayer and also with a blessing. Gracious God, today we have cherished the opportunity to remember together Agnes and the memories we each hold. May the time that lies ahead be one where we continue to share our thoughts and memories with one another, keeping our love for Agnes alive and our concern for Agnes utmost. As you call us your own, help us to speak of Agnes that her name holds no shadow, but instead allows us to smile and remember each day. We bless you for the gift of life which remains now, and lead us forward to live in love and compassion for one another. And may the blessing of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with you all, this day and forevermore. Amen.